I am not the new Fergie, says Amorim, having to start playing down expectations already, John Cross.
Oh, yes, he will be if they win tomorrow night. It's great, isn't it? I really like this guy already, Rúben Amorim. He's full of charm. He speaks great English. And I did see that Gary Cottrell, Sky's ever willing press conference operator, brilliant entertainment, always asking really good questions. Tried to get him out to answer in English, just as foreign journalists do here, to get them to speak their native tongue when foreign managers come over to work in England. He wouldn't oblige, but he still came up with great sound bites. And I do think we're going to really like this guy. I think he's going to be a staple diet of Back Pages tonight, because I do think he's going to deliver it. He just seems fun. He's a smile on his face. He likes to entertain. He knows what makes a headline as well. And here he's just basically saying, if I win, if I lead Sporting to victory over Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, who he described as the best manager in the world, along with lots of other platitudes about the City boss, and quite rightly so, basically that's going to raise expectations to such a level that they're going to suddenly United fans are going to have realistic expectations, suddenly start calling me Fergie and beyond, and expect miracles even before I start. Frankly, I do think that United fans are going to expect a lot from this guy. He's worked wonders at Sporting Lisbon. He's got a real charisma. He's got a real passion. He's got fantastic sound bites in his press conferences. I think, Nick, we're going to have a lot of fun with him, and I really like his kind of Back Pages already.
I think we definitely are. Just want to show you actually John's paper, The Mirror, and their treatment of this story. The air dryer, if you follow that, taking us back to Fergie and all those comparisons, and also, of course, a rivalry with Pep Guardiola, Charlie, as well. There's so many strands to this.
Yeah, there are. And, as John said, he's going to be great value. I had 4 days in Lisbon last week. I was there for 3 of his press conferences. The first 2, one of which was with Gary. He's answered in English. And then the third one on Friday night, he was clearly told not to speak English anymore. And it was in Portuguese. And I think that's going to continue after the game tomorrow as well. And after his last game as Sporting coach in Braga on Sunday. But what's interesting about him, that he's not just answering questions, he's offering anecdotes and stuff up. I think he will talk himself into trouble. He doesn't criticise referees, or certainly hasn't done in Portugal. But I think when he gets going, he's certainly going to be enormous fun. And that makes him more than welcome for the Premier League, because we've got some great managers in the league, but 1 or 2 of them are a bit dull. And this bloke coming in certainly is not dull.
Who could you possibly be? Yeah, Sky's Gary Cottrell had another go today at getting him to speak in English, and he wasn't having it. This is just on the top of my head. It occurred to me, John, as you were talking earlier and describing his traits. There's an element of the Jürgen Klopp thinking back to when he arrived, and a guy who's done well abroad, come in here, got a sense of humour. A lot of what you were saying, I thought that's Jürgen all over again.
Yeah, I think you're right, Nick. I think it strikes me as more Jurgen Klopp than Jose Mourinho, because when Jose Mourinho, breezed into his kind of welcoming press conference at Stamford Bridge that time, called himself in his typically arrogant style the special one, and demanded respect straight away with it, really, and probably commanded respect with it. I don't think we're going to get that, but I do think we're going to get a charmer. I do think we're going to get someone who realises that basically, to him, speaking to the fans, through the media is going to be important to get his message out there, to entertain, to, it doesn't count so much really with the likes of Liverpool, Man United, does it? But it does at some clubs, that a manager really has to speak well I think in the modern time to kind of make themselves relevant, to make their clubs relevant, and to make sure the club stays on the back pages. Man United are always guaranteed to be on the back pages, and Amorim definitely speaks into that. I really like it. I've seen some of his football in Europe, across European competition. He likes to entertain. It's not perhaps as expansive as you know, as some managers here, but it's incredibly well organised. He's incredibly well coached, and I do think he's going to entertain us. I really do think this guy is going to actually sort of kind of seize on the kind of the big Premier League expectations of delivering headlines and sound bites, and I think he's going to really sort of play into that. And you know, this verbal jousting, I love it with Gary today, which you touched on. I mean, you know, is great. You could see that he was laughing. You could see that he was enjoying it. He probably wanted to, you know, offer that sort of kind of, you know, sound bite in English, but had clearly been told not to. But honestly, English, or a lack of sort of kind of English, is certainly not going to hold him back when he speaks to the media here in Premier League press conferences.